Hi there, and welcome to another one of my reviews. My name is Christian Eschbach, and today I am going to be taking a look at the White Stripes' debut album, self-titled, or untitled, whichever way you want to go with it. And this is going to begin the start of a 4-episode love fest with Jack White. I'm going to start with the White Stripes on this episode, and then I am going to proceed through solo career and other bands with the next episodes. And the reason why you are going to get such a love fest about Jack White out of me is Jack White has done so much for the music community since he exploded on the scene in the early 2000s. Alright? 2002, first album comes out. Since then, Jack White has been in one excessively successful band outside of the White Stripes, and that would be the Raconteurs. He's also had another band by the name of Dead Weather. Obviously, there's a solo career as well. And with his solo career, he has done so much just for the music industry itself. With his solo career, Jack White bought his own record press equipment and facilities. So he is pressing vinyl. He is pressing White Stripes vinyl. He is pressing his solo vinyl. He is pressing Raconteurs vinyl. He is pressing Dead Weather vinyl. And he is pressing vinyl for a multitude of other artists. And because of this, he inspired Metallica to go out and buy all their own equipment to do their own pressings as well. So without Jack White doing his own pressing facility, we'd have no Metallica be inspired to do their own pressing facility, and it just goes from there. And it is Jack White that is helping bring vinyl back so much, like to the point where he records old school even when doing recordings for vinyl, like he goes truly authentic the whole way around. He is using vinyl the way it is meant to be. This album, not that case. This is way before that. This is before he could do all that. This is the beginning. This is the White Stripes the White Stripes first album. So, let's get into the White Stripes. Jack and Meg White. We've all heard the stories, all right? They're a couple that were married, they divorced, they stayed together musically for a while. Eventually, the band did come to an end because Meg has some major anxiety issues and it was taking too much of a toll on her to keep traveling and touring and whatnot. I hope that eventually they'll release more music again, but until then, let's start at the beginning. Okay. Album opens up with Jimmy the Exploder. Great song. Absolutely wonderful song. I like it. It's a good way to start this album off. The only downside is one thing that I don't like about, especially the first probably 2 White Stripes albums, is the way that they were recorded, the frequencies that were used, how high pitched they get. I get these blistering migraines listening to Jack's guitar, depending on the song. Jimmy the Exploder is one of those songs. I get a migraine every time. It's a good tune, but just the way it was recorded, the sound of it, the production on it, everything, it really hurts my head. It's not metal either, and going into that, the next song, Stop Breaking Down. Now, this song is a Robert Johnson cover. I also need to point this out because this entire album sounds like it's Jimmy Page doing a demo album for the next Led Zeppelin album. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a bunch of the major bluesy influence period of Zeppelin. Big time on this album. And it really feels like it's all demos for what would have been raw Zeppelin tracks. Stop Breaking Down is one of the few songs on here I actually skip. I'm not a fan of that song at all. I'm sure there's some people who'll be like, oh, but really it's okay. I think the biggest problem with me on this song is, once again, it's the sound of Jack White's tone, the band in general, the tone, because I love Meg's simplistic drumming on all these songs because she does a great job of just doing what drums need to do. She keeps the beat, she keeps the tempo, but because there's no bass in the band, she also has to provide a little more low end using specifically the drums. So you get a little more tom work on it, which is great, but once again, the way it was produced is just too much in the high end frequencies for me, my head. That goes to one of my favorite songs off this album, which is The Big Three Killed My Baby. One of the few reasons I really like Big Three Kill My Baby is Detroit band, Michigan band, and they're singing basically what would be like the blues of living in a city that is controlled by the big three, and you're reliant on the big three and everything that goes on to the big three. It's not that simple, right? But it's got a great sound to it because he really captures musically. He captures the essence of the factory work with the pounding and the grinding and the stuff like that. Jack is very much an experimental guitarist with what he does, and you can hear it from the beginning that he's discovering, he's playing, he's experimenting, he's not just doing cliche guitar stuff, and it's great. From there we go to Susie Lee. It's alright. That's followed up with Sugar Never Tasted So Good. I actually enjoy that one. It's not bad. It's nice and upbeat, but I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a heroin referencing or not. Seems like it. And usually heroin referencing songs I kind of get a little iffy with. Wasting My Time's a good tune. Really, really gets into that blues kind of vibe. I mean, the blues is heavy on this album. That's the one thing with Jack is he's experimental, but this album, he's experimental using a lot of blues. I mean, a lot of blues, to the point where if he did not have drums going, I think his guitar would actually lose something. He's very dependent on Meg's drums throughout the entire album, basically, for getting him through the songs. So otherwise, it would sound like someone just kind of practicing and warming up a lot of the times at points, because of him doing a lot of cool fills or a lot of cool little patterns or little runs or little inflections or whatnot. Classic blues style stuff, he sings a couple lines and then he hits a couple notes or whatnot. And instead of pounding on the guitar, which you can, it's an electric to get that sound. In the old days, if you were using an acoustic, you just tap on the acoustic to get that sound in between while you're singing. Can't do that here. So he's got Meg. Canon is cool. Canon kind of, I like it when the album's playing. I don't go out of my way to listen to it otherwise. Astro, another song, really like off here. I really like the kind of the chugging beat he's got going on there. It's kind of a great little beat going on in there, and I really love the vibe of it, the feel of it. I love the way he gets going on it. It just sounds like a whole lot of fun. From there we go into Broken Bricks. Broken Bricks, it's not a bad song. It's one of those songs, again, if the album's playing, I enjoy it. Otherwise, I don't listen to it. When I Hear My Name, I do enjoy When I Hear My Name. But I would never put it into a mix to listen to when I'm out and about or anything like that. It's not a song that, once again, a lot of this album is listening to it when the album's playing. It is. It really is listening to it. They're not bad songs. They're just not songs that you want to throw into a mix to me. They're not songs you want to hear while you're driving or while you're out working out or if you're out, kind of doing anything other than listening to music, really, to me. Or, you got tunes on in the background, that kind of thing. That's very much what's going on here. That is followed up by Do. Do is the slowest song on this album, and it is very, very sweet, and I really like it. It's very balladesque, but the right type of slow balladesque. Not a song that I go out of my way, once again, to listen to, but really good. Screwdriver, skip it. It's alright. Whatever. One More Cup of Coffee. This is a Bob Dylan cover. I don't know the original Dylan version, I'll be honest with you, and this doesn't really intrigue me that much to go discover the Dylan version of it. That's followed up by Little People, which is okay, and then Slicker Drips, which is also okay. Then we get to the St. James Infirmary Blues. This is a traditional song. Traditional blues, I would assume. I'm not 100% sure. I just see that it's listed as traditional. I like this one. It's really good. Not a song I listen to once again on its own. And then the album finishes with I Fought Piranhas. I do like I Fought Piranhas, and I do put I Fought Piranhas in the mix. It's a great little tune. It's a lot of fun to listen to, and it carries through the album to a nice close and finishes it out the way it should be finished out. I don't know if you're paying attention or not. There are 17 songs on this CD. Most of the songs, honestly, don't go above 2.5 minutes. A lot of the songs are below 2 minutes. It is a fast album. It is a quick album. You bounce from song to song to song really, really quick. You get through the album really fast, and you don't realize you've gone all the way through the album. I like listening to the album every once in a blue moon. I throw it in, and I listen to it just purely for the fun of it. It is not an album I listen to often. Once again, Jack White love affair going on, but as a fan, I can be honest. This is a great opening album, but it is not an album that is a breakthrough album. It's not an album that will get you going. It is not an album really to introduce you to the White Stripes. It is very White Stripes-esque, but it is not their best. It is not where I would start with myself. I personally myself picked up this album after the release of the Elephant album, which was their fourth release, which is the one where they broke out with, and everybody knows them at that point. All their back catalog all of a sudden became available. I went out and bought every one of the CDs in their back catalog. That included this one. That means I have had this album now for about... Well, the album is almost 20 years old now. Go figure, right? Almost 20 years old. It'll be 20 years old next year. But when I bought it, it was probably maybe about 3 years old, 4 years old tops. Once again, not my first choice of White Stripes album, not my second choice of White Stripes album, probably not my third choice of White Stripes album. But if you are a White Stripes fan, if you are a Jack White fan, you have to have the album. And it's not a disappointing album to own, long as you can get it for the right price. I personally don't think I would pay, brand new... Well, I shouldn't say brand new, but, when an album gets slightly... it's still newer, but slightly dated, and it goes up beyond that, just release price, all of a sudden it goes from, like $15.99 to $20.99 or something stupid like that. I would not do the $20.99. If you can do $15.99 or less, go for it. I'm also speaking Canadian dollars, so, in the U.S., I wouldn't pay probably more than about $16.99 for the album. $14.99, look for a used copy. If you find a used copy, pick up a used copy and check it out. That's all I got to say about here with the new White Stripes album. If you are one of my regular viewers, please come back for the next review. Next review, I will be taking a look at the Raconteurs first album, because I'm going to do all the first albums, all Jack White's first here. So we're going to do the Raconteurs as the next video. So I want you to come back for that one. Check out what I have to say about when Jack White first starts his side project. Until next time, thank you for watching. Take care. I love you all. Peace, love, and subscribe, leave comments. You know the routine.